Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Thank you again for joining me. This is the morning after the night before when I uploaded the last video. And here's Georgie. Georgie, do you want to come and say hello? Come on in. Whoa! He might not sit like Nigel does. He always wants to get down and play because everything's excitement for you at the moment, isn't it? He's only 11 months old. Oh, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, are you going? I'll put you on the floor there, and then you can just go wherever you desire. So yes, this is the next video. I'm starting the following morning after uploading the last one. Part 4, welcome to part 4. What I'm doing with the kitchen. This will be putting the wall cupboards in. I'm really excited about it. I've got half of them made at the moment that I will show you, and I'll make the rest up. I'll spend the day, or maybe it will take a couple of days to carry on and finish the units. But we'll. Is your empty box closed? Sorry, darling. So what I'm going to do first of all, you're going to come in. Oh, there you are. What I'm going to do first of all is just take you around the garden very, very quickly. It's a bit grey, the skies, and it looks like it's going to pour down with rain. I quite like weather like this, I have to say. So it's not bright sunshine, so it might film better when I show you what's flowering at the moment. I know, boy. You can't walk on... Oh no, you can't walk on the worktop because that's Daddy's workspace. Okay, and you might stand on wet glue and things. Yes, so it should be better filming parts of the garden because it won't have glaring sun on it. And somebody did comment and ask about the garden and say that it's looking really nice and some more things are coming to flower. So I'll just zoom around that quickly, let you see that, and then we'll carry on back in the workshop. Now it's actually just started to rain. It's just spitting, so it might be a downpour any minute. But I will just show you. I've got a little that will fill up as the summer goes on. We've got little alpine plants and things in here doing that, and we'll come round here. That was hydrangea. That was in a part of the garden that it didn't like, and all last year it was very, very poorly and didn't flower. So we've moved it up into this container with fresh soil. It's in a different part of the garden and it's all started sprouting new leaves, so it's going to be, obviously loves it here. Right plant, right place, as gardeners always tell us. The dahlias have gone crazy. I've never seen so many flowers on a dahlia plant. Absolutely beautiful. So it's obviously a good year for them. I don't know the names of all the plants. That's a nice ceramic bowl, an oval shape. I quite like that one. And there's more dahlias here. Wildlife on them. There we are. We have different containers. We have the gypsum here. That's going crazy as well. Here we've got the sweet corn. Some of the sweet corn in containers. That's all growing well. So we should have sweet corn hopefully later in the year. There's some more, not gypsums, geums, or geums. That's a clematis, so that will flower later on, but it's getting lots of buds on it. All different kinds of flowers. These poppies here, they've been going. The seeds have been going for years. They were my mum's poppies in her garden, and I took the seeds after my mum died and moved house, and they've been growing since 2007 every year. There's more poppies there, and they're all from my mum's. So when they flower, I'll show you the poppies. They're beautiful, the poppies. And this rose is going to have many, many flowers on it. There's buds everywhere, which is the first time it's flowered like this since we've had it. It's a beautiful lilac-y colour, and all our roses smell really strong. We picked them because of the scent. So there's all different flowers here. They're aquilesias. They come up every year. And if you can hear that squeaking sound, that's John Boy out the front of the house pumping the tyres on his car. And we have metal ornaments, birds and things. Obviously we have a little cat here, a wooden carved cat. And these are pretty, these flowers. I can't remember what they're called, but they come up every year as well. So there we are, on some striped grass. Here we have a climbing rose, and that just goes crazy. That's got buds all over the place. So that's going to just get more and more. We've got a hydrangea here which will be in flower soon. There's all buds appearing there. We've got acers, beautiful furry, very thin leaves, very fluffy looking. We've got more roses here. It's just starting to come out. What have we got round here? Oh, we've got the red hot poker plants, but this is the miniature version. At the bottom of the garden we do have a giant version, and it grows about 7 feet tall. And this is just a miniature one. It only grows about a foot or so high. We'll come into this grassed area here, and our arum lilies are all over the garden. I've been spreading them over the years, and they are just flowering beautifully now. Absolutely beautiful. We do have the white longiflorum lilies, a couple of those growing, and they'll flower later in the year, and they're my favourite flower. Those and roses I love. We've got carnations. Well, I took from a bunch of carnations we had and did some cuttings. We've got more of those in the garden. I'll show you as we get there. There's more roses and aquilesias. We've got big grasses here growing. That's a lovely striped grass. More roses here. And here we have a Nigel cat. Nigel! Hello. Hello, baby boy. Yes, I know. Oh, and there's Georgie following. Hello, Georgie. They absolutely love our garden. It's like a little jungle for them. So there's more carnations, all taken from one little cutting, and the buds are just starting to come out. So they're going to be a mass of carnations soon. Beautiful colour. And this plant here, I have no idea what it is. It's like it grows. The leaves are like an iris. But the flowers aren't exactly the same as normal irises, but very pretty anyway. We've got other bronze irises here, and they're just going over, these ones, but they are beautiful colours in them, and more lilies everywhere coming up. And there's a lily there that's going to flower soon, and poppies, they grow yellows and sort of orangey colours all on the same plant, all different colours. It's not just one colour, which is really weird. Oh, and the sun's come out. We've got little ones here. Different flowers. We've got lots of hostas everywhere. I do love hostas. They're beautiful. And there's Nigel come round this side of the garden. And past the washing line. And there's loads more lilies growing here. They're very tall because they're in the big planters. And come round, there's the workshop. And come through, we've got this archway with some jasmine growing up and round. We've got Tibetan prayer flags hanging there in the garden. As the wind blows, it blows all your prayers into the air. And there's ivy growing up that side, and some beautiful different types of ferns growing in the garden. I do love my ferns. And our friend Martine, she sent me a video link to somebody on YouTube that was making ferns for his diorama, and they look fantastic. They look just like these. So I will have a go at that sometime and see how we get on. There's more hydrangeas coming up, more hostas, all different kinds of hostas, more lilies, more ferns. This is the slightly shadier dapple part of the garden, so there's those types of plants that are growing down here. There's another rose coming up here, And round in this sort of secret back bit at the garden, you can't see this from the house at all. And we have yet more lilies. Well, I've been spreading them around the garden. And this grass, it's a sort of two-tone striped grass, but as you can see with my hand, they grow really thick. They're not actually bamboo. People think they are bamboo when they see them, but they're not. They don't grow bamboo at all. They are solid, like a solid grass, and they grow up to about 8 to 10 feet tall. They're almost as high as me at the moment, but they'll keep growing all through the summer. So that's it. Let's go back. Oh, and that's a sambuca. No, that's a drink, isn't it? Something to do with sambuca or sambuca. Some kind of plant. Someone might know. I can't remember at the moment. Who knows? And lots of golden bamboo. We've got black bamboo all over the place, and we've got our lovely Robinia pseudo-acacia. That tree is up there, and it has lime green leaves when it all comes out. It's absolutely beautiful. And up above me, a twisted willow that we have to walk under when we go through round here through to the arch. Okay, so that's the garden tour so far. Oh, nice fresh cup of tea. I actually made this one myself. Yes, thank you very much. I do make tea. John Boy is out visiting grandchildren today. Won't be home till later, so I'm fending for myself. Who knew? Who cared? Okay, back in the workshop now. I hope you like the garden. It's coming on really well at the moment. But as I said in the beginning, I think because this is all different clips, I was starting on the wall units to put those together today and get those up. Sadly, no, not in this video, but it will be in another video very shortly. Reason being is because I've done quite a lot now making the units, as you know, and although it's still working, my jig, it's not working perfectly well. It's rubbish. I have to admit, it's rubbish. There's lots of videos on, making these wooden jigs, how to make them. Everyone knows how to make them and what have you. And although when I started with them, using this, it is a perfect right angle. It is making everything perfectly. But by the time I got to the end of the kitchen, I found myself getting my X-Acto knife and a razor blade even I used, and trying to scrape all the glue off, all the lines of glue. Every time you push bits of wood together, you get lines of glue, and on the back bit and on there. And wood, although it's porous, it doesn't wipe clean, so I was wiping it all the time, and it's just, you can feel it now with your fingers. It's just building up. There's lumps. It's not smooth, although as I said, it is still a right angle, but it's not good enough for me. I don't you know what I'm like, guys. Maybe my work isn't perfection, although some of you say it is, but I see it, you always see it differently yourself. I won't say it's perfection, but I will say I want it as perfect as I can make it. And in my mind, if I carry on using this, the units will not be exactly, they might be a fraction of a hairline fraction out. You probably wouldn't even see it once the pieces are made. But in my head, this is not working anymore. So the good thing is, it's being recycled, because John Boy and myself often sit outside the workshop of an evening, and we have a fire pit that we put in the middle of the paving stones, the patio, and we burn lots of wood and just sit there and have a tea or a coffee or a glass of wine or even a gin and tonic. And so this will go on the fire, and it will I will say my farewell to it. It worked all right in the beginning, but if it wasn't so heavy, I would do that with it. But in a room like this, it's not really safe to do that, so I'll put it down carefully. So the reason I'm not doing the cabinets in this video is because I have ordered myself a brand new stainless steel metal jig, which you can just wipe clean the glue with white spirit very easily, and it will last for years and years and years, and it won't build up a load of rubbish on it or glue or anything, and it will be perfect for me to use in my eyes. So I'm getting rid of the free one and moving on to a bought one, and it's taken a long time to come because it's coming from Pennsylvania. Anyone in Pennsylvania watching right now, I know some of you are, because some of you have said that you're from Pennsylvania or live in Pennsylvania, and that is where the jig is coming from. I couldn't find one in the UK. Ridiculous. A piece of metal with two edges around it. But anyway, they're not cheap, I have to say, but it's I've seen somebody using, well, I know somebody that uses it. In fact, the lady now that does her and her partner that do elf kitchens, the elf kitchens that I put a link to on one of my videos, which is the kit that I'm making up, even though this is 20 years old. It was someone else running it then, but the lady that does elf kitchens, she uses an identical one, and I asked her about it and got her advice, and she says it's absolutely fantastic and helps to make her units perfectly. So that's what I'm waiting for. It's going to take days for it to come, so I'm going to carry on instead and move into other rooms in the house. So let me take you there right away and show you what I am doing. Okay, so while I am waiting on the walls to dry, the first coat, I could do it with a hairdryer and then carry on, but instead of doing that, I'm letting it dry on its own before I give it its second coat on both sides. And while it's doing that, I can just get on with marking up the back. So we've got the chimney breast here to go in. So what I do for that, first of all, is measure the width of the wall completely, divide that by half, draw a line up the centre, so I've got the centre of the wall there, so I know where I'm going to drill a hole for the fireplace light. Then I measure the width of the chimney breast, and then I take that measurement off the width of the back wall, and whatever figure I come up with there, I divide that by 2, and then you can, whatever figure that is, you measure that out from each side. I think it was 10.9 or something like that. So you measure that out from each side, there, and then I can draw a line there or just leave the marks on the wall. And then we know that the chimney breast will just meet on those lines and it will be central. Now, I have all the walls and the rooms depend on what you're putting in and what you're doing to it. Excuse me. So I've got this fireplace that the client had chosen. Oops, this is her fireplace. It's a lovely fireplace. It's in a sort of gunmetal colour, really nice. So we're putting that on the back wall there, over the chimney breast, and behind it I'll be putting a brick wallpaper, a brick paper embossed, and then I'll smudge it all with soot or a black pastel, just make it into a powder and smudge that on so it will look nice and grubby. And then my client has also chosen this lovely little grate here. There's no coals in it or anything. This is all I was provided with, and she wanted it lit up. So what I will be doing is drilling a hole in the back of it, so I can wire up a fire light that will go in, and that will go straight out the back, the middle of the room. So I'll drill a hole for that. Obviously this won't all go in until this is all papered and ready, but I'm just giving you an idea of the picture of what we're aiming for. So, and I've also bought some coals, a bag of miniature 1/12 scale coals, so I can wire the light through here, and then I can fill it with the coals. I'll PVA some of the coals together so that it's nice and firm there. But I'll do the hole big enough at the back so the light will probably be able to be pulled out the back and the bulb changed and put back in if needed. Usually you buy them like that ready made, but I'm going to make my own. Right, okay. So I've designed the fireplace and what's going on it, and how I'm going to make it and everything. I've cleared that obviously with the client, so that's fine, that's all good. So I'm going to start at the moment with the brickwork in the back of the fireplace. It's far too clean for a used fire. That would all be covered in soot. So the easiest way to do that is to buy a little pack of soft tone pastels. They go from black to white and grey, everything in between. I also have a box of coloured ones for doing other shades for on bricks and rust and different things like that. So anyway, so we'll get the black, get your X-Acto knife and your pastel or pastel, and just scrape it like so. As if you're sharpening the end of a pencil, like so. And then get your wall, whichever way up you're going to use the brickwork. You start at the bottom, go around where the fireplace will be. I know roughly where it starts. There's no point in doing anything in the middle there because it's a solid back, the fireplace, so you won't actually see anything in the back of the wall there. And then that would just go wherever as it goes up the wall. You just build it up gradually like so, and just carry on till you've got the sort of mess that you want. Right, okay, and then you can hold I'll use my other hand, you can hold the fire grate just there to look at it and see how that looks, and even darken an area if you want it a bit darker, up the middle there, right at the top of the wall. Just add a little finesse. That's it. Excellent. Then you carefully put the grate out the way. Take the excess off, and just leave that, and then go and wash hands before before you pick anything else up or touch anything else. I shall pause the video. I look like I've been up a chimney breast now. I shall put the video off with this finger carefully and speak to you in a minute. Right, okay, so the chimney breast is now glued in, and it's glued on the floor and up the back, and I've lined it up exactly with the pencil lines, so it is perfectly in the centre, and I'm happy with that. I've left that for about 45 minutes just to make sure this is quite solid, and it wouldn't be moved easily. So now I've cut the paper to the height of the room. I've just cut it and left a tiny gap at the top there, but it's a smaller gap than the depth of the cornicing, or the coving. So when I stick that on, glue that on, it will cover that up. But I'm letting it go right down to the floor, and then I can keep it straight and square. So what I've done first of all, I think you can just see, I've laid that completely flat in the back there, lined it up, pushed it flat into the corner, the first corner of the chimney breast and gone up and down with my nail there just to make a nice sharp edge. Then I will take the whole thing out and fold it, put it on the workbench and fold the crease to get it nice and creased. And then I'll do that, put it back in and do that all around the chimney breast, going round in the other side and to the edge there. If your paper was not wide enough and it didn't come to the other end of the wall, I think this does, I haven't actually tried it yet, but I'm sure it does. But if the rooms were wider and it wasn't going to come all the way, then obviously, well, not obviously, but you wouldn't join right on the flat of the wall like that. So I would just fold the paper into the other side of the chimney breast and finish my sheet of paper there. And then I would cut and put a new piece straight down that side, so that really you wouldn't see the join. Also, when you do that, I would try, if you can, and match up lay them both out on the table and match up the pattern first when you cut it, so you know when you put it in it's going to meet up there. When these are in like that, you can't often sort of look right in there and see if the pattern's matching anyway. But it's just nice an overall effect if it looks even. So I'll carry on and do that so it's all ready. Then I'll take it out. I'll lightly coat it in the I'll coat the wall in the wallpaper paste that I use, and without putting it on the paper, because if you put it on the paper it starts pushing out all the creases you've put in, and it's harder to put up on the wall when the paper is all covered in paste. So I will then paste all the wall here, ignore this hole, but I paste the chimney breast, paste the wall, and then just slot it in from one end nice and easily, push it in nice, fold it down at the corners there, and then let the whole thing dry. Once it's dry, so I'll leave that for quite a few hours really, then I will carefully stick an X-Acto blade in the middle here somewhere, and then cut up to the corners and then cut that bit out, and then I can carry on with the rest of the fire. So I shall get that paper pasted first of all and let you see what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, I've got some tiny dado rail here, which has got a very small pattern on it, detailed but nice, and I am staining it a colour that I like the look of. I've got about 7 or 8 different stains, but I just wasn't happy with any of them, so I've mixed a couple of stains together and come up with a colour. So that's done, that little bit there's done, I'll use that. I'll let that dry and give it a rub, a buff up, and then I'm going to cut that and put that around the hearth, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I've varnished the pieces of wood around the edge there. Nice little detail. It's not too plain, not too outrageously fancy either. And I've put a little marble sheet there just stuck on. It's just got a nice sheen to it if you can see it, and it's just got sort of creams and beiges in it. It's not too outrageous either. We want something nice and stylish and calm looking for this lounge. So I shall now glue that into the room, and then we can put the flooring down. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to show you this really clearly because my hand is going to be in the way. But when you're laying the floorboards, if I hold that up so you can see the backing of it, you can see that it's not there's not enough gap there to put a whole board in coming down the room. So you need to cut that little corner out there. The way that I do it is quite an easy way, I find. I just lay the floorboard in so it's square. It's not square at the moment, but I would lay it in square right up against that wall, and then just get the X-Acto knife and just slide it where the front of the chimney breast is, just on the very edge of the wood there, and just do a little mark there. I won't do it because it's not aligned. Do that first of all, and then I would bring it forward, the piece of wood, so it's
flat against the where it should be and push it up against the chimney breast like so, and then get the knife again and lay it on that side of the chimney breast and just score down very lightly, so you end up with two little marks on the wood. And then I can show you, oops, I cut it out then. Used a ruler to get a nice straight edge, although it is going to be covered up with skirting board, so you can be as rough as you want with it as long as the floorboards cover up when they stand on it. But obviously you know that I'd like to be as exact as possible, even if the work can't be seen. And then when you slide it down like so, it fits in exactly, and then you can see that I'm going to have to cut another bit there just to go around the fireplace, then whole boards again until I get to this end, and then do the same again. And also cut the, or I cut the strip with the plastic still on the back, because if you peel it off the card, off the paper, you can't maneuver this around. It sort of sticks to the floor constantly, and each time you do that and peel it off again, it's getting rid of more of the glue. So do it with the paper still on, then peel it off and then just glue it in place. Okay, so there's the wall there's the wall in place, so there's the flooring in place, and now I just have to put the grate in and the chimney breast and lay the skirting board and the cornice in, and then put the light in, and the room will be finished. They're all just bits to cut and glue in, so I'll get those done and then we'll see how the room is looking. Okay, I know I've said this several times before on other videos, but just in case you haven't watched those videos, just to help out, when you're laying the skirting board or the baseboards, well, I'll just tell you that I always do it this way. I always lay the back wall in first. So if it's one big wall, lay that in first, then do the two sides. But always work from the back of the wall facing you, and then work up from there, then anything coming towards you. If you start at one end and go down, so you've laid it there, then trying to fit the bit in across there up against the chimney breast is just harder once this bit is fitted, and you're trying to push it in and slot it down behind this one, and it's just a bit more awkward, especially if that's not exactly the right length. So it's much easier to lay the back ones first, and all I do for that is get the small ruler and hold that up against there and see exactly how much it is, and then cut. You can do a fraction more than that just to cut it, and that should fit in just snugly. If not, just a tiny bit of sanding on one end just for a couple of seconds will then slot that in easily. And then once you've put those bits in, then you can cut the little bits to come up the side as well, up the sides there, and then the tiny bit across the front there, and then the side bits there as well. But always start from the back and work forward. It's much easier. Okay, I thought I'd just elaborate a little bit about how I put the skirting in. So as I said, start from the back and then come up either the side walls next or the side of the chimney breast next, whatever you desire. And what I do is cut the first cut ready to go into the corner here, so you've cut it at the right angle first of all, and then I can't really do this with one hand properly, but then I lay that in so it's exactly fitting and squared. It's not bent one way or the other way, so lay it in exactly square. Get your pencil, hold this firm with one hand, and then do a tiny dot across the top of the skirting there, level with the front of the chimney breast. And then if I lift this up and show you when you're going round the sides of a chimney breast and you're going to go back to a line straight across, the same as the back wall, you're going to come back flat again, the same as the back wall. So if you're coming up and then you're going back somewhere else, when you cut your corners, your side bits here, the angle that I've cut it at there, which will fit straight into the back of the wall, you will cut it exactly the same angle at the front of the chimney breast. So I've drawn a tiny little mark there, you might not see it properly, and from that mark I'll do a line that way, the same as this way. So on the back walls your cuts are going inwards, both inwards. So these bits at the back here, you're cutting one in like that and then the other one in towards it. That's the back wall. When you come up the side and you're coming around a corner, you cut the first angle like that and then the second angle exactly the same. So they're both going in the same direction. I have heard a lot of people that have got mixed up with this over time, so I just thought I'd go into it a bit more detail. And then once you've got that corner cut there, sloping that way, and you've put that bit in, then you're cutting a tiny bit at the front. Obviously you're cutting it at the angle to fit in with that angle. So I'll cut these bits, put them in, and it's the same with the other side. It'll be an opposite cut, so I'll be coming this way to go into that corner and this way again to come up to the edge of the chimney breast. Okay, here we have the finished room with the fireplace in. I've obviously I put the skirting board right up to the sides of the mantelpiece, so I just cut around the corners there, or the backs of the hearth, to fit that in nice and neatly and snug. I won't put the door in yet. I'll wait until I've done the hallway and work that out as I go along. But there we are. That's the finished room so far. Okay folks, so I hope you enjoyed this video, or this part of the commission house. It's coming along really nicely. I'm really pleased with it. As I said, I did the lounge, decorated that from start to finish while I was waiting for my metal jig or magnetic jig to arrive, and it arrived this morning as I was ready to finish off the room. So I haven't used it yet, but I shall take it out and show you. Right, there we are. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It's made of 21 gauge steel plate, and the angles are bent up at right angles, exact right angles. There are 8 magnets in there, very strong magnets, so you can build different units. I can carry on with the kitchen cupboards now, and you can put the magnets against the furniture to hold them in place. If you've got parts of buildings or small things that you're building, you can actually slot them through the gaps there, the little gaps there, to hold one piece while another bit's being glued onto it. It's going to be absolutely perfect. So hurrah, I'm very, very pleased. This has turned up just as I'm finishing this video, which I'm extremely pleased about. It's only 2:45 in the afternoon, so I can carry on the next part of the kitchen and get some wall cabinets up. I'm very excited about all of this. Okay, thank you very, very much folks for watching. Thank you in advance for your comments. I love getting your comments. I just sit first thing in the morning and reply to as many as I can, or whenever I receive them. If I'm not busy, I reply to them right away. But yes, I can't wait to speak to you again soon. Have a nice day or have a nice evening, depending on where you are at the time you're watching this, and speak to you again soon. Take care everyone. Bye.